One thing that surprises a lot of buyers is how quickly the paperwork starts once they decide they want a house. You spend weeks or months looking at homes, and then suddenly somebody sends over a contract that's several pages long and asks you to sign it. And for a lot of people, that can feel a little overwhelming. The good news is that most buyers don't need to memorize the entire contract. What they do need is a basic understanding of the sections that actually impact them. So let's walk through some of the biggest pieces of the Arizona residential purchase contract in plain English. One of the first things you'll see is earnest money. This is often misunderstood. Earnest money is essentially a good faith deposit that shows you're serious about buying the home. The money is typically held by the title company and later gets applied toward your purchase. A lot of buyers worry they're going to lose their earnest money if something goes wrong. In most situations, that's not how it works. The contract contains specific timelines and contingencies that help protect buyers when they're following the terms of the agreement. Another section buyers pay a lot of attention to is the inspection period. This is one of the most important parts of the contract. During this time, buyers have the opportunity to inspect the property and evaluate its condition. This is when home inspections usually happen. It's also when buyers are learning more about the home than they could possibly know during a short showing. Sometimes inspections reveal minor issues, sometimes they uncover larger concerns. Either way, this period gives buyers time to make informed decisions before moving forward. One term you'll often hear during this stage is BINSR. This stands for Buyer's Inspection Notice and Seller's Response. And honestly, this is where many of the conversations happen after inspections are complete. The buyer may ask for repairs. They may ask for a credit. They may simply want additional information. The seller then has an opportunity to respond. A lot of buyers assume inspections are either pass or fail. In reality, it's usually a conversation between both sides trying to find common ground. Another section people ask about is the appraisal contingency. Now, if you're using financing, your lender will typically require an appraisal. The appraiser's job is to provide an independent opinion of value. Most of the time, everything moves forward without issues. But occasionally, a property appraises for less than the agreed purchase price. When that happens, there may be additional negotiations between the buyer and seller, depending on the situation and terms of the contract. Then there's the loan contingency. That is another area that creates confusion. Getting pre-approved is important, but final loan approval still involves underwriting, documentation, employment verification, and several other steps. The contract contains timelines related to financing that help keep everyone moving toward closing. Toward the end of the contract, you'll see possession. And this is something buyers should pay close attention to. A lot of people assume possession automatically happens at closing. Sometimes it does. Sometimes the contract allows for a different possession date. That's why it's important to understand exactly when you'll receive the keys and when the property officially becomes yours to occupy. One thing I always tell buyers is that the contract isn't there to make things complicated. It's actually there to create clarity. It outlines timelines, it explains responsibilities, and it gives both parties a roadmap for getting from accepted offer to closing. And while some of the language can feel intimidating at first, most of the questions buyers have usually come back to just a handful of sections like earnest money, inspections, financing, appraisal, and possession. Those are the parts that tend to have the biggest impact on your experience. So if you're thinking about buying a home and want help understanding how the Arizona contract works before you ever make an offer, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to walk people through the process and help make it a little less overwhelming.